In the aftermath of Jeffrey Epstein's arrest and subsequent death, a chilling artifact emerged from the shadows, his black book. This seemingly innocuous address book, discovered among a trove of documents seized from his Manhattan townhouse, became a Pandora's box of speculation and intrigue. Its pages contained a sprawling list of names and numbers, a veritable who's who of the rich, powerful, and influential. The book's existence sent shockwaves through the highest echelons of society, hinting at a network of connections that stretched far beyond the confines of Epstein's opulent world. The Black Book, a tangible representation of Epstein's reach, became a symbol of the hidden workings of power and privilege. It whispered of clandestine meetings, unspoken agreements, and a web of relationships that transcended social strata. The discovery of the book ignited a firestorm of questions. Who were these individuals listed within its pages? What was the nature of their relationship with Epstein? And most importantly, were any of them complicit in his alleged crimes? The Black Book's existence sparked a media frenzy, with journalists and investigators alike scrambling to decipher its cryptic contents. The book became a Rorschach test, with each individual interpreting its significance through the lens of their own biases and preconceived notions. Some saw it as a smoking gun, evidence of a vast conspiracy that implicated some of the world's most powerful people. Others dismissed it as a mere curiosity, a collection of names that proved nothing more than Epstein's social climbing and penchant for cultivating powerful friends. As the pages of Epstein's Black Book were meticulously scrutinized, a startling pattern emerged. Alongside the names of socialites, celebrities, and business magnates, there appeared entries for former presidents, foreign dignitaries, and members of royal families. The sheer breadth of Epstein's network, as documented in the book, was staggering. It painted a picture of a man who moved effortlessly through circles of power, cultivating relationships with individuals who could open doors and provide access to exclusive realms. The presence of such high-profile names in Epstein's Black Book fueled rampant speculation and conspiracy theories. Some saw it as confirmation of long-held suspicions about the corrupting influence of power and the willingness of elites to turn a blind eye to wrongdoing. Others urged caution, emphasizing that the mere presence of a name in the book did not equate to guilt or complicity in Epstein's alleged crimes. Among the most explosive revelations was the inclusion of former presidents Bill Clinton and Donald Trump. The book contained multiple phone numbers and email addresses for both men, suggesting a level of familiarity that extended beyond casual acquaintance. While both Clinton and Trump denied any knowledge of or involvement in Epstein's criminal activities, their presence in the book cast a long shadow over their legacies. The public grappled with the implications of the Black Book, wrestling with the question of whether mere association with Epstein was enough to taint an individual's reputation. The court of public opinion, often swift and unforgiving, struggled to reconcile the presumption of innocence with the undeniable discomfort of seeing respected figures linked to such a notorious individual. The Black Book became a stark reminder of the power dynamics that often shape our perceptions of guilt and innocence. The individuals named in Epstein's Black Book faced varying degrees of scrutiny and condemnation. Some, already embroiled in controversy or suspected of wrongdoing, found themselves facing renewed accusations and calls for investigation. Others, with previously unblemished reputations, saw their integrity called into question, their names forever linked to Epstein's scandal. The Black Book's revelations sparked a debate about the nature of guilt by association. Some argued that anyone who had knowingly associated with Epstein, particularly after his 2008 conviction for soliciting prostitution from a minor, was complicit in his crimes. Others maintained that guilt was not transferable, and that individuals should not be judged solely on the basis of their acquaintances. Section 4, a macabre auction, the Black Book hits the market. In a move that struck many as opportunistic and insensitive, Epstein's Black Book found its way to the auction block. Christopher Halali, who had purchased the book from a previous owner, consigned it to Alexander Historical Auctions, a Maryland-based auction house specializing in historical artifacts. The auction, scheduled for August 13, 2024, was met with a mixture of fascination and revulsion. The decision to auction off Epstein's Black Book was widely condemned, with critics denouncing it as a crass attempt to profit from tragedy. Attorneys representing Epstein's victims expressed outrage, arguing that the book should be turned over to law enforcement to aid in their ongoing investigations. They argued that any proceeds from the auction should be directed towards a compensation fund for Epstein's victims. Despite the controversy, the auction proceeded as planned, attracting bids from collectors, journalists, and individuals claiming to seek justice. The opening bid was set at $35,000, a figure that quickly escalated as bidders engaged in a bidding war for a piece of history, however macabre. Section 5. Outrage and Dismay. Reactions to the auction. The auction of Epstein's Black Book was met with widespread condemnation from a variety of individuals and organizations. Epstein's victims, already grappling with the trauma of their abuse, expressed anger and disgust at what they perceived as a callous disregard for their suffering. They saw the auction as a painful reminder of how their abuser's wealth and connections continued to shield him from accountability, even in death. Beyond the immediate circle of Epstein's victims, the auction sparked outrage among those who saw it as a symptom of a society that often values wealth and notoriety over justice and compassion. Critics argued that the auction perpetuated a culture of silence and complicity surrounding sexual abuse, particularly when it involved powerful individuals. Law enforcement officials also expressed concern about the auction, arguing that it could potentially hinder their ongoing investigations into Epstein's crimes. They feared that the public sale of the book could tip off potential suspects or lead to the destruction of evidence. The auction, they argued, represented a potential miscarriage of justice.